After spending a couple of months in Budapest, I can honestly say this city has a way of winning you over quickly. At first, it feels like a postcard. The parliament glowing at night, trams rolling along the Danube, and the Buda Castle staring at you from across the river. But after a while, it starts to feel like home. You find your favorite ruin bar tucked away in the Jewish quarter. You learn which thermal bath is worth the hype and which one is just full of tourists. And you realize that goulash isn't just some cliche dish. It's actually perfect on a cold day with a glass of local red wine. And here's the best part. Living here doesn't break the bank. Compared to Western Europe, Budapest is surprisingly affordable while still giving you that full-on European lifestyle. Rent, food, transport, it's all way more reasonable than places like Berlin, Vienna, or Paris. So in this video, I'll share exactly what it costs to live here. From apartments and eating out, to nightlife, transport, and even the little surprises nobody talks about. So, why Budapest? Honestly, it's one of those cities that surprises you. On the surface, it feels very European classic. Grand architecture, old cafes, thermal baths, and wine cellars tucked into caves. But at the same time, it's buzzing with a young, creative energy. The nightlife is wild. The ruin bars are unlike anywhere else in Europe. And the cafe scene is perfect if you're into working remotely or just people watching. For expats and digital nomads, Budapest hits a sweet spot. It's safe, well-connected, affordable, and full of history and culture without feeling overwhelming. And unlike cities that can drain your wallet in a week, here you can actually enjoy a great lifestyle without constantly stressing about money. That's why so many people come here just for a few months and somehow end up staying a year or more. Budapest gives you two very different vibes, Buda and Pest. Buda, on the hilly side of the Danube, is greener, quieter, family-friendly, and feels a bit more upscale. Pest, on the flat side, is busy, buzzing, full of cafes, bars, and energy. It's almost like two separate cities, connected by those iconic bridges. Now for the numbers. A small studio in the city center, say in District 5 or 7, will usually run you around $700 to $800. If you step just a little outside the tourist-heavy areas, prices drop quickly. Some outer districts have actually gotten cheaper recently. Yes, cheaper, which is rare in Europe these days. Out there, you might find a decent studio for $400 to $500. And the cool thing? Even the far neighborhoods are often super well connected by metro, trams, and buses, so you're never really isolated. For long-term rentals, most expats use websites like ingetland.com or Facebook expat groups. And of course, word of mouth is gold. Airbnb is fine for the first month or two while you search, but for real savings, switch to a local contract. A couple of things to know before you sign. Landlords often prefer cash rent and may ask for 2 months deposit up front. Contracts can be pretty bare bones compared to what you might be used to in the West. And don't be surprised if your flat comes semi-furnished or with furniture that looks like it's been there since the 80s. Bottom line, from Pest's energy to Buda's chill sunsets or a hidden gem in the outer districts, Budapest has the vibe you want, always close to the action. Budapest isn't just a feast for the eyes, it's a feast for your stomach. After a few weeks here, you quickly learn that Hungarian food is way more than goulash. Sure, that steaming bowl of paprika-spiced goodness with a slice of fresh bread is iconic, but there's also langos for late-night cravings, chimney cake for dessert, and hearty, affordable meals waiting in the local bistros. Eating out doesn't have to drain your wallet. A solid lunch at a local spot costs around $5 to $7, while a dinner at a mid-range restaurant is $10 to $20. Coffee culture is thriving. Specialty espresso or flat whites usually go for $3 to $4, perfect for people watching while planning your day. When it comes to groceries, supermarkets like Aldi, Lidl, Spar, or Tesco cover all the basics for around $250 to $300 a month if you mix cooking at home with the occasional treat. And don't forget the Chinese discount shops. They're a lifesaver for cheap snacks, noodles, sauces, and random kitchen gadgets. Budapest also isn't shy about international cuisine. Sushi, ramen, Italian, or vegan spots are easy to find, tucked between the ruin bars and thermal baths. In short, you can eat like a local or like a food explorer without breaking the bank. Getting around Budapest is surprisingly easy, and cheap if you play it smart. The city's trams, buses, and metro are clean, efficient, and cover nearly every corner of both Buda and Pest. A monthly public transport pass costs around $25, giving you unlimited access to the whole network. But honestly, Budapest shines for cyclists. Bikes are everywhere, bike lanes are improving every year, and you can grab a second-hand ride for $50 to $100 and be zipping along the Danube in no time. Scooters, Bolt, and taxis exist too, but only really necessary if it's rainy or you're running late. Pro tip: skip owning a car unless you love hunting for parking and paying for gas at about $1.50 per liter. Otherwise, tram life or two wheels is the way to go. Fast, cheap, and 100% Budapest. Now, let's talk utilities, the stuff that keeps your apartment cozy and your Wi-Fi humming. In Hungary, a lot of rentals include heating, water, and trash in the price, which is a blessing, especially in winter when Budapest can get downright frosty. If it's not included, expect to pay around $100 a month for electricity, gas, water, and heating. Internet is smooth and affordable, usually about $15 a month with providers like Telecom or Digi, and yes, it's fast enough for Netflix, Zoom calls, or scrolling endlessly through travel videos. Keep in mind, winter spikes your heating bill, and some older apartments have quirky radiators that require a little patience. Otherwise, staying connected and warm in Budapest won't break the bank. Budapest knows how to have fun without draining your wallet. A movie ticket will set you back around $6, and a pint of local beer, $2 to $3. Cocktails are pricier, usually $10 to $14, unless you find one of those creative ruin bar specials that look like a chemistry experiment. Museums often cost just a few dollars, and many have free entry days, perfect for soaking up culture without feeling guilty. If you like working out or just pretending to, a gym membership runs about $25 to $45 a month. And when it comes to nights out, dinner, drinks, maybe some live music, you can easily keep it under $50 if you pace yourself. Bottom line, living it up in Budapest is totally doable without needing a millionaire's budget. So, how do you stay in Hungary legally without worrying about the authorities knocking on your door? If you're from the EU, you're basically set. Just roll in, register your address, and enjoy life by the Danube. Easy. For non-EU folks, it's a bit more paperwork, but nothing too scary. Hungary recently introduced the digital Nomad visa, also called the White Card. If you work remotely for a company outside Hungary, you can apply for this. You'll need proof of your remote job, health insurance, and a place to stay, plus a steady income of around 3,000 euros per month for the past 6 months. It's valid for a year and can be renewed once, and the great part is your foreign income isn't taxed here. Freelancers and entrepreneurs can also apply for a guest self-employment residence permit. It's meant for people who plan to run a business in Hungary. You'll need to show your income is high enough to live comfortably, provide some paperwork proving your business exists, and have health insurance. The initial permit lasts a year, and if you're thinking long-term, your family can join you after 3 years. For longer stays, there's the traditional D-type long-stay visa for work, study, or family reunification. It usually lasts up to a year, and your employer or school will help with most of the process. And if you stay legally for 3 years, you can apply for a permanent residence permit. The takeaway? With the right paperwork, Budapest is completely accessible for students, freelancers, remote workers, and expats. Just be ready for a little bureaucracy, bring your documents, and maybe a pen. You'll be signing your way to life in one of Europe's most charming cities. All right, let's talk money. What does it really take to live comfortably in Budapest? With around $400, you can either rent a room in a shared apartment like most expats do, or snag a tiny studio in a nice, well-connected neighborhood a bit outside the very center. It won't be huge, but it's cozy, practical, and perfectly livable. Food will run you about $300 if you mix cooking at home with the occasional cafe visit or street food adventure. Think hearty Hungarian goulash one day, a coffee and pastry the next, maybe even some international options sprinkled in. Getting around is easy. A monthly public transport pass plus the occasional taxi or rideshare will cost roughly $50. Honestly, you don't need a car here. The trams, buses, metro, and bike lanes have you covered. Utilities and internet? Around $100 per month if you manage your heating sensibly. In winter, it can creep up a bit, but nothing outrageous. For fun and entertainment, set aside $100. That covers cinema nights, a couple of cocktails, museum visits, or a weekend outing. And don't forget the little extras: haircuts, SIM cards, random splurges, around $50. All in all, living in Budapest comfortably lands you at about $1,000 per month. You get a full city experience, ruined bars, thermal baths, Danube views, without breaking the bank. It's affordable, exciting, and honestly, a lot of fun. One of the best things about Budapest? You don't have to spend a fortune to enjoy it. The city is full of free gems if you know where to look. Take a stroll along the Danube promenade. Day or night, the Parliament glowing across the water is pure magic and costs nothing but your time. Parks are everywhere, from City Park with Vajdahunyad Castle to the quiet corners of Margaret Island. Perfect for a picnic, a jog, or just watching the locals play chess like it's a national sport. And yes, if you're lucky, you might catch a free outdoor concert or a cultural festival, especially in the summer. Art lovers, don't panic about pricey museum tickets. Many galleries and exhibitions have free entry days, so you can admire Hungarian masters or modern installations without opening your wallet. Even thermal baths don't always mean spending big. Some smaller baths have discounted or free entry times, letting you soak in Budapest's famous waters like a local without the tourist price tag. Basically, Budapest proves you can live large on a small budget. The city's vibe, history, and beauty are all out there for you to enjoy. Just lace up your shoes, grab a camera, and soak it in. Budapest isn't just a beautiful city to live in, it's also a fantastic hub for exploring the rest of Europe. If you're craving a weekend getaway, trains and buses will get you to Vienna in about 2.5 hours, Bratislava in less than 2, and even Prague in around 6. Flights are surprisingly cheap too. Low-cost carriers like Wizz Air or Ryanair make it easy to hop to Paris, London, or Rome for just a handful of dollars if you book ahead. Even within Hungary, getting around is simple. The national rail system is reliable, and buses reach towns and scenic spots that trains don't touch. Plus, Budapest's central location means you can explore the Danube Bend, Lake Balaton, or the wine regions in no time. So, if you're a traveler at heart, living in Budapest means you've got Europe practically at your doorstep. It's a base for culture, adventure, and short spontaneous trips, all without needing a car. Budapest has this sneaky charm that grabs you. Some expats fall hard. Weekend ruin bar adventures, steaming thermal baths after work, paprika-spiced goulash, and a lifestyle that doesn't eat your wallet. You find your favorite coffee spot, your little studio, and suddenly the city starts to feel like home. But it's not all sunshine. Winters can freeze your bones. Hungarian feels like a secret code. And yes, the bureaucracy will test your patience. Some people leave because they miss warmer weather, simpler paperwork, or faster-paced cities. Others realize that city center life can be noisy, and the hustle here is a little different. Budapest rewards curiosity, patience, and a sense of humor. Embrace the quirks, explore, and you'll probably fall in love. Skip that, and it's still a cool European hub, but maybe not your forever city. So, is Budapest your next home, or just a stylish pit stop? If you love history brushing up against buzzing nightlife, thermal baths, affordable eats, and a city that rewards curiosity, you'll feel right at home. Rent a tiny studio, grab a bike, sip some coffee, and explore. The Danube is waiting. Life here is affordable, vibrant, and full of surprises. Stick around, pack your sense of adventure, and maybe Budapest will surprise you the way it surprised me.